Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we will be working on a black canvas, and we're going to be painting trees. And I have this reference photo, and it's from Unsplash, so it's royalty free. And I'll be using it just as a guideline for, how to leave the black where you want to leave the black. And then we could just for fun, maybe put an aspen tree in there just to show you how it works. Sort of something, a lot of, it's just something that you can do to mix it up instead of painting from a white canvas, going and painting, on black is just a fun thing to do. Okay, so I've got out my paints and I have white, black, and then this is just some color I had out there. These are like turquoises, and I've got out sap green, cad yellow, light, yellow ochre. This is like cad yellow lemon, raw sienna orange, cad yellow, cad red, alizarin, transparent red oxide, brown oxide, ultramarine blue, cobalt blue, and dioxazine violet. So I'm working on a glass palette, which I like because I can just scrape off the extra paint there. So what you want to do when you're painting and you want to leave the black for where the trees are going. So you can, you can start by, I'll take some of the yellows and some of the oranges, and I'll start maybe by putting down some of that bright fall color there. Use some orange and some of this brown oxide. And I kind of want to, I'll maybe mark out the edges of where the tree's gonna go using that orange. Just to start, I'm gonna put in just a few trees. So I'm gonna put in one there, and then I'm gonna put another tree in there, maybe a little one here. So I don't want to fill in the whole thing with lines and whatnot yet. But I'm using, I want to leave, once you paint over the black, you could paint it back on again, but it's kind of fun to leave it as is. So I'm just going to make a few of those guidelines for my eyes to where I'm going to put in some of the paint. And you could start off, once you have that, you could start off with the white and add a little bit of the cobalt blue, and a little bit of this, I'll use a little transparent red oxide to make a sort of a gray color. And you could first work on that. I'll put an aspen tree in here. So you'll notice I'm leaving that black edge. I'm not going right up even to my guideline of where the orange was. And another thing, this is sort of a fun exercise. You can look at where you want to put some of those black marks, and it's like reverse painting. You're kind of leaving some of the black underneath to show that birch texture in the birch tree. So you can kind of work that around and leave some of the black. You can always take it out later if you put too much in. So just kind of work that in there. Leave some of those black birchy marks there. And it's just kind of it's kind of a fun thing to do. And just leave a few more of those black marks showing through. And like I say, you don't have to keep them all. So I'm just gonna put that in there, and then I could have some of those trees in the background. There could be the darker black one, or you could put in another aspen. So I'm just putting in a few of the white branches too. The next thing you could do is get a little darker, that, get some of that cobalt in there, and a little bit of that cobalt and some of this cad red, kind of makes a purpley gray. And you could put in those dark trees using that color, just to give it a little bit of a shadow on those darker black trees. And also just gives your eye something to look at there. You could put in a few branches. I like to put in a few branches right away, so I kind of know where. Because I'm going to be putting some of that orange and some of those other colors in there. I want to have just a few more branches in there. And you could just put a few thinner ones. So I'm going to mix up some more paint, just some more red, cad red, and cobalt. And I'm just going to add a little bit of chirp to that because my brush is kind of sticking. And I'm just putting a little bit of that in the shadows here. Once you kind of lay out your trees, then I'm going to switch to a smaller brush. This is a number 4, so it's not as big. And you can start adding some of those fall colors to your scene. And what you want to do is the background is sort of like will give you an interesting outline. So I'm mixing up some of this raw sienna and some orange, and I'll start putting in some marks, and you'll notice I'm going to leave the black outline. That's what's going to give it sort of an interesting effect. So just sort of, I'm leaving those spaces there to kind of look like branches or something, showing through. And I'm leaving that black edge around the tree. And then you can mix the color up a little, you can add some yellow to it, just change up the colors. But I'm leaving that sort of blackish kind of edge there. And then you can start thinking about, the putting in some sky. So you might want to leave this area here for the sky. So I'll kind of block in and sort of leave space for the sky. And you know, this technique is, some people grab a hold of this and then they really run with it. And then it's not for everyone. I'm going to add a little red to these. Looking at my reference photo, thinking I'll add, you know, some red to this one. So I'm just going to add some red in there. And I'm leaving space in it as I get closer to this edge. I can leave some spaces that I might use later for the sky. So just keep going. Filling in some of that. And you've got such a dark value that this looks really, it looks really light, but it's actually not that light yet. It can still go a lot lighter. I'm gonna add some more yellow. Kind of block in some more fall colors. And you can, you know, up here I was more detailed, but you can definitely block in a lot simpler, like this down here that I'm blocking in a little quicker. You can block in, but you'll notice I'm careful. I'm kind of leaving, I'm making branch-like spaces in between so that you can see that I'm blocking in a way that looks sort of like those could be branches showing. And get some more yellow, kind of fill in a little bit. So you kind of keep working. It's almost like a mosaic, you know, like that. And I'm going to keep working here. And you could add in different colors. Leave some more space for maybe some sky there. This is just to give you an idea of how it works. I could take a lot longer filling this in, but it would take me a lot of time to fill in everything. So I could get some green, for example, if I wanted to add sort of a different colored tree here and there, I could put in some green. The main thing is you're leaving that black behind to show up like that. So you can put in whatever color you want. You can pick your color. You know, sometimes I pick that red and yellow and orange theme, or I'll do purple, green, and orange for leaves, just to kind of have fun playing with color. But you can see how you can migrate the color a little bit to make it interesting. And then I'll switch brushes so I don't muck up those brushes. And I'm gonna use some of this cobalt blue and white And I'll put in some of the sky color now. Same idea, I'm gonna just block in little squares and leave that black. You could imagine some of those dark trees in the distance coming up there. So you could leave some of those showing off there, just leave some black underpaint here and there to show that there's some branches. And if you do it on a large scale, it would look really cool. So you'd have that as a branch. See, I'm making these organic shapes underneath. So you can really have fun with this. It's almost like one of those meditative coloring pages, but you're making it yourself, you know. You have some sky coming in here. Go. Yeah, you can really have fun. Put in some sky here and there. You get the idea. And so you see what I've done, and then you can go in and you can tweak all those colors. Like you could go in and say, oh, I really want to, you know, make a few real bright orange pops of color here and there. Or I need more red, or, you know, you could go in and I had too much turp on my brush, so it wasn't really putting. So you can start adding more effects to your painting like this. Some real light sparks coming through. And this is just really, you know, I'm doing this super quick to show you the technique, but you can, like I say, you can really have fun with this and pick out your color scheme that you want. You can use, as you can see, I use the reference photo just as more almost inspiration a little bit than I did. I didn't take all the time and put every single tree or branch in there. And then you can go and, let's see, go back to my blue brush here and get some white and maybe a little hint of that yellow mix so it's not so cool. And you could go and now add some light to your tree like that. And I'm blending it a little. Blending that gray in. Like that. So gives you a really different kind of effect, and that it's been a look that comes and goes. I think, yeah, it comes and goes in style in the galleries. So I was taught this technique by a Canadian artist who sells lots of birch paintings in Canada. So he said basically likes doing this once in a while just to change things up again, because, you know, you paint so many paintings, you might get the same similar end result, but at least, you know, you have kind of a fun journey getting there, a different journey getting there, you know. You can take some of that blue and put some of that blue here and there in the shadow. You can really have fun with it. And I've get some lighter blue and put a few dabs of that in the sky here and there. like that. And so that's the real, you know, quick version, simplified version. So this should be fun for all levels because you can make it as complicated or keep it simple like this as you want. And you get sort of at the end, you get sort of a nice kind of mosaic-like painting. And like I say, I have done other color combos like this one here. I'll show you. Just bring it up on my phone here. Of course, I can't find it now. Okay, this one, you know, if you can see it, but it's purple, green. It's hard to get the glare off my iPhone, but purple, green, lime green, and white with tiny hints of blue. So you get the idea. Pick out, you know, like no more than, you know, 3 colors, and you can kind of create a really nice painting. So I will post the image in this video to my Patreon channel. And in the meantime, I'll leave this up for my YouTube channel just for a little while, but then I'll have it just for Patreon only. And you can join my Patreon for $10, $29, or $59. And little tutorials like this you can do these in my as low as $10 a month, and I have lots of them on there. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button. Thank you.